Or the next presentation is on National UTM Policy Framework by Airports Authority of India. अगला presentation Airports Authority of India की तरफ से है और मैं निमंत्रण देना चाहूँगी श्री हर्षद आपको, जो कि JGM है, ATM और ASM, कि कृपया ये presentation यहाँ पर प्रस्तुत करें। श्री हर्षद।
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ministry of Civil Aviation, for organizing this. And thank you to Drone Federation of India for this opportunity to speak on National UTM Policy Framework. It has indeed been exciting and fascinating to observe this ferment here on drones. It has been estimated that the emerging technologies today would help drones be ubiquitous before the end of this decade. What it would mean is that there would be thousands of small unmanned aircraft systems flying in the very low-level airspace segment. This is a segment from ground to 1,000 feet AGL. And to handle this, we would need a UAS traffic management, UTM service. Towards this, in October 2021, the National UTM Policy Framework document was released. So why do we need the UTM? There would be thousands of drones flying, and they would need to be handled safely and efficiently, yet at the same time, without adversely affecting the existing stakeholders. And how would it do this? It would do it through the safety strand that is woven through the document. It recommends enablers such as technology, procedures, and real-time data exchange. The present-day air traffic management systems, they are not equipped to handle this amount of traffic from unmanned aircraft. And neither are the unmanned aircraft able to fulfill the requirements, the strict requirements of manned aviation. And to handle this contradiction, we would need a software-based automated UTM service, the UAS traffic management service. The National UTM Policy Framework document defines the scope of the UTM as up to 1,000 feet AGL, which is the VLL segment of airspace. Document recommends safe and complex operations through three objectives: through seamless communication between stakeholders, through providing assistance in separating aircraft, and through providing situational awareness to stakeholders. This is the block diagram of the UTM service. The entire UTM ecosystem is based on the core of Digital Sky. The earlier presentation was on Digital Sky. The three central blocks in blue color, they represent the Digital Sky core. One of them is the Digital Sky Engine, DSENG. This is meant for interfacing with various external services and platforms, for implementing business rules, and to handle databases. The second is the Digital Sky GOV block, the government block, which interfaces with the government block itself. The government block includes air traffic controllers, DGCA, Bureau of Civil Aviation Safety, Air Force, and the government stakeholders. The third pillar of the Digital Sky is the Digital Sky UTM service providers. These would provide services such as registration, constraint mapping, and various other services. The UTM ecosystem will also take into account supplementary data service providers. These are service providers who would provide data such as meteorological data, obstacle data, and so on. The entire UTM ecosystem is geared towards fulfilling the requirements of UAS, the unmanned aircraft systems. And the UAS block represents the UAS as well as remote pilots and the various information channels between them. Finally, there is the public block. The concerns of the public such as privacy and safety are addressed. The system is also ready for interfacing with counter UAS systems as well as with air traffic management systems. Next, please. The document recommends the participation, encourages participation of all pilots. This participation can be active, it can be passive, it can be voluntary, or it can be mandatory. And the exact combination will be decided by the type of aircraft and the type of operation. Next, please. The central technology that will help manage all these thousands of drones is the real-time identification and tracking, RIT. And this document provides for only one exception: nano drones flying in green zones. All the rest will have to implement the RIT as and when the regulations are released. The policy document makes it mandatory to have data security and privacy standards, and also recommends that government provides two services towards authentication and network security. These two services would be registration authority and certificate authority. The document speaks of interfacing between UTM and ATM also, and it clarifies that it intends to align with ICAO. ICAO is International Civil Aviation Organization, which handles or which manages the regulations internationally. Next, please. The UTM policy document discusses three possible strategies for the deployment of UTM. One strategy could be, the simplest one, is the single UTM service provider per region in an exclusive airspace. The second strategy could be multiple UTM service providers within one region. They would be cooperating, they would be coordinating, and perhaps competing also. The third strategy is the hybrid strategy. The multiple UTM service providers would be there within a region, but there would also be smaller UTM service providers who would provide services in exclusive or jurisdiction segregated airspaces. And the document prescribes the hybrid strategy for UTM. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a living and dynamic document, and the evolution of it will be decided by your inputs, by technological advances, by airspace management techniques, and so on. Thank you for your attention.
थैंक यू सो मच मिस्टर हर्षद। आपसे निवेदन करना चाहेंगे हम ग्रुप कैप्टन डॉक्टर R.K. नारंग कि कृपया श्री हर्षद जी को मेमेंटो भेंट करें। Thank you, Mr. Harshad, for the presentation. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।